Hello students. This video will show you the top 7 reasons why you will fail the compounding exam. Now before we start, I want to give you a little disclaimer. We are not affiliated with any test writers, test graders, the New York State Board of Pharmacy, or any pharmacy school. This video is made based on the heavy feedback we have received from our previous and current students. Keep in mind we have many students who went to school both in New York State and out of New York State. Okay, and let's show you the honest figures from St. John Fisher College's website. Now, these are the pass rates of a first-time test taker. Okay, as you can see, it's the highest percentage rate is a 77%, and the lowest is a 58%. Okay, so this is the average. And as you can see, it's not an easy exam. I'm sure if you've seen the NAPLEX pass rate, it's like in the low 90 percentile for a first time test taker. So you know the compounding exam is not something it's not something to easily pass over. And we're going to show you the top 7 reasons we believe why students fail. Keep in mind, a 75 is a passing score. So if you get 26 points wrong, you automatically failed. Okay, reason number 7. It's the write-up. On day 2 of the exam, you will need to explain how exactly you compounded your products, not including the IV bag. Students lose silly points for carelessly explaining this section. Keep in mind that proctors are looking for specific keywords for certain compounds. If you don't use that specific keyword, you will lose points on the write-up, period. Reason number 6, labeling your products. On day 2 of the exam, you need to label all 3 of your products. The 2 compounds that you're going to make, which may include a suspension, capsules, ointments, or creams, will have a specific label, and your IV bag label will have a different label. So you must know exactly what to write on the labels. And there are 7 things that you must write. There are 7 statements you have to put. Some students have no idea what those 7 statements are. It could be as simple as the patient's name or address, something like this, that you could lose 2 or 3 points. Now remember, every point is so vital because once you hit that mark of 26 points or wrong, that's it. The exam is over. You got to wait 6 months again for the next exam. Okay, reason number 5, not knowing New York State law. On day 1 of your exam, you'll be asked if you can or cannot verify drugs on the errors and omissions section. Questions can be easily answered by knowing the New York State law with absolutely no therapeutic knowledge at all. I'm going to say that again. You can pass the errors and omissions exam with knowing no therapeutic knowledge. For example, I'm going to ask you some questions. Shout out the answer if you know it. Can pharmacists legally administer the flu shot to minors? Can a pharmacist administer the shingles vaccine to any patient that walks in? Can a pharmacist in New York still legally accept written prescriptions from New York prescribers for controls and or non-control prescriptions? This law just passed, I think like March 26th to be exact. And pharmacists are getting numerous emails from the New York State Board on what to legally do, what not to do. So I have no idea if schools are teaching this. I hope they are, but you do need to know this for your compounding exam. Reason number 4, patient profiles. Okay, the majority of your therapeutics knowledge will be mostly tested on the patient's profile section on day 1 of your exam. This section will consist of 3 profiles worth a total of 12 points. Most students fail this section because this exam is not a multiple choice exam. You must find the problem in the profile and then write a recommendation. Writing down what usually happens in the pharmacy world of calling the doctor and asking his or her advice for a different drug to prescribe is not an answer you can write down. That's an automatic loss of points. So you can't do that. Even though it's what we usually do in the real world, you can't do that on the compounding exam. Reason number 3, errors and omissions section. Given on day 1, this section consists of 10 questions worth a total of 20 points. Remember, getting 26 points wrong is a failing score. As mentioned previously, some of these questions in this section can be answered by knowing New York State law. Students get this section wrong for not knowing where to specifically to look for errors. Keep in mind that in each question you have to cipher through the prescription, the drug, and the label. So there's 3 things you have to look at for each question. The funny part is sometimes a student knows the prescription is incorrect, but they have no idea how to explain what is wrong with it. They know there's a problem, but they just don't know how to write it without writing a whole essay. Reason number 2, IV compounding. This is the most feared section on this exam, and this is given on day 2. The reason why most students are scared of this is because there is a test grader watching you the entire time. And more importantly, if you make a fatal error, it's an automatic loss of 20 points. Again, if you make a fatal error, it's 20 points. Just choosing the wrong bag or the wrong drug issues a fatal error. A proctor can also take off points for you holding the syringe wrong or touching the plunger or anything else that was done incorrectly. Students also lose points in the section for simple things they forget to remove, like wearing rings, watches, or nail polish. Okay, reason number 1 why students mainly fail the compounding exam is not knowing calculations. Day 2 of the exam consists of 3 compounds you need to calculate 4. Not knowing how to calculate for the compounds is an automatic failure. There is no point in walking into this exam if you don't even know the basic formulas for the compounds, or even how to calculate a dosage or a total dosage. It's just a waste of your time. So if you don't know calculations, you fail the exam, period. Everything depends on your calculation. In fact, I'm sure you heard from recent students who took the exam. They will tell you furiously how they had a math calculation on the exam they never saw before in their entire life in pharmacy school. So they just froze. They literally just froze looking at the piece of paper for about 30 minutes not knowing what to do. So how do you pass the compounding exam? Well, what do you do? Well, one quote I like using as a reference for almost everything is from Albert Einstein. You have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to play better than anyone else. So what do you have to learn? You got to learn the rules of the game. And what is it? You got to learn all the laws. You got to learn how to answer questions correctly. Everything you need to know is in our app called Pass NYRX. It's in the App Store and in the Google Play Store. You got to study the right information. Some packets that you have in your hands right now from your professors are possibly outdated, and it might consist of cramming material upon material. The app that we made teaches you specifically step by step how to get every single question correct. In fact, we even tell you what to write if you have no idea what the answer is. If you draw a blank, you can't just fill in the letter C as a multiple choice exam. There's no multiple choice. So it's a loss on your part if you just leave it blank. We tell you what to write that's most probable as an answer. We basically turn this exam from a blank exam into a multiple choice exam by giving you specific answers on what to write in. Also, besides studying, you need to practice. I highly suggest that you go straight to your school's lab room and ask to take supplies for you to practice with. Get some IV bags, get some syringes, get some needles, get some filter needles, and just keep practicing the rhythm, how to do everything correctly. If you don't know, there's also directions in our app on how to do it. And also, we just came out with another app called Naplex Math. So if you already passed the compounding exam and you want to go forward with your Naplex, this is the app that's going to really help you know all the math formulas you need to know. And remember, on any exam, you either know it or you don't. Okay, so if I asked you a question on cephalosporins or antipsychotic medications, you either know it or you don't. With the math section, everything in the question is used for your benefit to get the answer. Okay, so as long as you know the math formula, that's it. You got the question exactly right. We made this app to give you an edge on the exam, so you have a higher chance of passing it on your first try. This is in the App Store. You could download it. If you have any questions, you could email us or write in the comments below. Thank you for watching. We hope you pass the compounding exam.